Let's take a look at some of the new Violet Skin options available to us while working in Violet Builder 7. Select Project, then select Project Properties. Then select Violet Skin. In the list, you'll notice that we have two new Violet Skins available, one called the Qarbon ViewletSkin and one called Qista ViewletSkin. So let's look at this Qista ViewletSkin first. Now, it shows up in the preview panel what the skin will look like, and of course we have the option to use embedded fonts. We'll keep that deselected. With this new Violet Skin, we also have additional skin-specific options, such as changing the color or controlling the color used for the panel. So let's go ahead. Right now it's set to black. Maybe we want to go ahead and have it set to something else, maybe more like that color there. And then, of course, you notice immediately as you update the color, it will update the preview panel too, so you can get an idea of what your skin is going to look like. We can also change the opacity level as well. And you notice that as we do this, that's going ahead and it's also changing the opacity level being used in the preview here for the skin. And we can also opt to change the player color as well. So maybe we want to go ahead and have something more dramatic. And we can click OK. And again, we can change the opacity level for this as well. So once we make these settings, we can go ahead and save these as the default properties. Then we can go ahead and click OK. Now let's save our file. Once saved, we can go ahead and either publish it, but in this example, let's go ahead and just preview this in a browser to see what the results are for it. So it's previewing and it'll launch our default browser on this particular system. Now let's go ahead and let's minimize some of the toolbars for the browser so we can look more at the skin itself. And there you go. That's our new Violet Skin or Qista skin here customized. And if we click play, you'll see how the skin works with this Violet. So this is great if you want to brand your Violet Skin around your Violet or match colors and so on. Okay, so let's go ahead and close out of the browser, and let's also take a look at the other new Violet Skin available in Violet Builder 7, which is the Qarbon ViewletSkin. Now we have a couple more options with this. Now you notice in the preview panel that this skin is a little bit different, or actually it's a lot different from the other skins you might be used to when working in Violet Builder. This might be more appropriate to use, say, for violets that you might be publishing out to, let's say, YouTube, for example. Again, you will see the results in the preview panel here. You have the ability to use embedded fonts. And you have skin-specific options. For example, let's go ahead and change some of these for the panel color. That would be this area here. Maybe we want to make it a little bit darker. We'll click OK, and maybe we want to bring it up to something more like 75%. We also have a controls color that we can apply. That's the VCR buttons here. Maybe we want to go ahead and change the color of those to something like that, for example. We'll click OK. Right now you can't really see them, but that's fine for now. We'll keep them at 100% opacity. The player color, we can go ahead and change that as well. So since we have a different color for the controls, we can change the player color. Maybe we want to set it to this white color, and then we can set it to that, and then have it set to 100% opacity as well. And then of course you have your controls highlight color, which will be used for the highlight color as well as the progress bar. Maybe we want to match the black a little bit more, or we can even set it to, let's see what happens if we set it to a red. And then we'll click OK, and we can go ahead and take down the opacity level of this as well. Now, anytime while you're customizing your skin, if you don't like the results here, you can immediately go back in and maybe we want to change this to something more like that so we have a little bit more color. Now, once you set, again, your options for it, you can go ahead and save them as the default properties. Click OK. Save your project, and then finally, let's see what this looks like when we preview it in the browser. So we'll go ahead and temporarily compile the Violet. Once our browser launches, let's go ahead and minimize some of the toolbars in the browser so you can get a better idea of what this will look like. Again, this is more towards probably more appropriate if you want to do it for YouTube, something like that. But you notice that we don't have a player bar. That's because the player bar is tucked away and will only display when you move your cursor over the bottom part of your screen. So that's a great way to have a player bar tucked away if you don't want to have it in view when it's not being used. And then of course you can click play and you notice the status bar is updating, and we can get at any of the buttons here. As the progress bar goes along, we can see that. And then when we're not using the player bar again, of course it's going to tuck it away. So let's go ahead and actually close out of the browser again. Quick summary. The new ViewletSkin offerings are in Project Properties, and they include the Qarbon ViewletSkin as well as the new Qista ViewletSkin. So that's all there is to it. If you have any questions on this particular topic or any others while working with any of the Qarbon products, please visit us online at qarbon.com. That's Qarbon.com. Happy violeting!